Someone on my channel commented saying, I think Stevie has one more classic album in him. I think he does too. I hope he gives it to us. I mean, if he just wants to tour off the old stuff, I mean, look at all the old stuff. Ain't nobody gonna complain. If Stevie comes back out on tour again, I will pay to go see him. Everybody, you're right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your boy Chris Stevens. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. It's Friday. It is the fulfilling this first finale, if you want to say it, of our week of wonder. If you guys have missed it all week long, we've done episodes every day this week honoring Stevie Wonder, who turned 76 on Wednesday, May 13th. And on Friday, May 15th, we are going to do something unbelievable. We are going to rank the classic period Stevie Wonder albums 1 through 5. We're starting at 5 and go all the way up to 1. So it's a countdown, basically. So before we get started, this is just my list. Your list may look different. It may be in a different order. You may feel a certain way about the key tracks that I have, but that's what the comments are for. If you guys feel like, it could be ranked differently, if you think there's a different song from an album that didn't make the key tracks portion of it, feel free to talk about it. We can talk about it in the comments respectfully, of course, and we'll go from there. But yes, we are ranking the classic period albums 5 all the way to 1. So without further delay, let's get right to it. Number 5 is the lead off in this whole classic period thing, 1972's Music of My Mind, which is Stevie's one of the 2 albums Stevie recorded after his contract broke with Motown, because he recorded he recorded Where I'm Coming From first and Music of My Mind next. And then that was when he was as a free agent, as it was. And then he recorded another album on this list after he got his contract. But yes, the key tracks that I feel explain and define this album are Superwoman, Where Were You When I Needed You, of course, I Love Every Little Thing About You, Seems So Long, and Keep On Running. Those 4 tracks to me tell you everything you need to know about Stevie's ambition, not just as a musician, but as a human being. Like, you think about the relationship that ended with Sarita right around this time, and he's talking about how Superwoman, wanted to be, Mary wants to be a superwoman and all of that, and Seems So Long, as I've discussed the other day, about how it's just him, ruminating on the end of a relationship and what it's going to take for him to get back into a relationship. And then I Love Every Little Thing About You is pretty much how he feels about probably not just women, but the world in general. Like, he knows the world is a messed up place, but it's still a great place to be. And Keep On Running is just fun. And every time you think about Stevie Wonder, you think about joy, you think about exuberance, you think about excitement, you think about having a damn good time while listening to some music. And Keep On Running is one of those Stevie tracks. I mean, oh my God, the thunder on that song is just unbelievable. So yes, we have Music of My Mind ranked as number 5 on the countdown. Number 4 on the list is 1974's Fulfilling This First Finale. And this one could be ranked higher, but it's an interesting album. We'll talk about it in a minute, but let's get to the key tracks. Too Shy to Say, Creepin', You Haven't Done Nothing, and They Won't Go When I Go. Now, this album is one of those ones that people tend to skip over, which I find to be not a good way to listen to Stevie Wonder, especially during the classic period. Because while it's not as highly lauded as the others, it's still a very important album. Because you got to remember, this was the album that came out about 11 months after a car crash in Greenville, North Carolina, that damn near killed him. A log truck stopped in front of Stevie and his driver couldn't put the brakes on fast enough, and Stevie in the back of the log truck went through the windshield and bam. And Stevie was in a coma for a while. Apparently lost his sense of smell, and that's not all he could have lost. But he comes out of that coma with a different spiritual awakening of sorts. And you think about a song like They Won't Go When I Go, it's him coming to grips with the reality of, his mortality, as it were. Like, everybody loves me now, but they're not going to go with me when I die. I'm going to be the only one that makes that final journey. And I'll be away from tears and all of that good stuff. Unclean minds mislead the pure. He's really in his religious bag on that song, because again, he looked death in the eye and he didn't like what he saw. And so you look at that song and that album in totality, you think about a song like Heaven is 10 zillion light years away. We didn't even mention that as a key track, but that's important in the canon of Stevie Wonder. And you still have Creepin'. I mean, we all know how Luther Vandross turned Creepin' into a Quiet Storm classic, but it's very hippie, very vibish, the Stevie version. Because for one, Minnie Riperton is singing on the backgrounds, as the guest vocalist on that song. And you can hear her and hear her and Stevie together. And I wish they had done more stuff together. I mean, of course, Stevie produced most of Perfect Angel and all of that good stuff, but I wish Stevie and Minnie had done more stuff together because their voices just work together so perfectly, so absolutely perfectly. Too Shy to Say is just one of my favorite songs from the standpoint of, yeah, I want to fly away with you, you know, an endless end and all of that, and I can't go on this way feeling stronger every day, but me being too shy to say that I really love you. We've all been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So that's just one of those perfect songs, and you haven't done nothing, boy. When we talk about Stevie's social justice bag, he told Richard Nixon, you ain't, for 3 albums straight. 3 albums straight. This was the final in the trilogy because you had Big Brother from another album, which we're going to discuss in a minute. He's Mr. Know-It-All from another album we're going to discuss. And then, of course, we have this one, which has the Jackson 5 doing backgrounds. Like Stevie, because you got to remember, Fulfilling His First Finale came out in July of 1974. Less than 3 weeks later, Richard Nixon announced his resignation as president of the United States. Now, I'm not saying that Stevie was the straw that broke Richard Nixon's back, but I can tell you, when that song came out, You Haven't Done Nothing, we are amazed but not amused by all the things that you said that you do, though much concerned but not involved with decisions that are made by you. And we are sick and tired of hearing your song, telling us how you're going to change right from wrong. But if you really want to hear our views, you haven't done nothing. That was Black America's stance towards a lot of politicians at that time. To this day, to be quite honest with you. And Richard Nixon, I mean, he already had enough to worry about, but I imagine he heard that song and said, you know what? That's it. Okay, I got to go. They telling me, if this little blind black dude is telling me I got to get the hell out, I got to get the hell out. So that's why You Haven't Done Nothing is one of those important songs in the canon of Stevie Wonder that I don't think gets talked about enough, and we need to talk about it all the time. But yes, Fulfilling His First Finale, it could be higher, but the 3 albums ahead of it, I mean, what you going to cycle out? What you going to substitute out? Anybody? Thought so. Now, this is where we get a little interesting. 1972's Talking Book comes in at number 3. Key tracks on this one: You Are the Sunshine of My Life, Maybe Your Baby, Superstition, and When I Believe When I Fall in Love, It Will Be Forever. So, Talking Book, that's the album that cycled in Stevie's brand new $13 million contract. And it's a tour de force from start to finish. I mean, it starts off with You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Like, that's a Stevie Wonder song that everybody knows. Black, white, Asian, Latin, Latinx, indigenous, Eastern Indian, Aboriginal, Nanook, you name them, everybody knows You Are the Sunshine of My Life. That's one of those Stevie Wonder songs that you can't, you sing that song to somebody, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Oh, that's Stevie Wonder. Everybody knows that song. Everybody knows that song. But Maybe Your Baby, that's paranoia in the nth degree. I mean, we talked about how, on Seems So Long that he was already ruminating over the end of his marriage. But Maybe Your Baby is sort of like a prequel to that. Because he starts talking about, the only person that could do me any good is stepping out with my best friend. And, this is scaring me to death. And Ray Parker Jr., 18-year-old Ray Erskine Parker Jr., is playing guitar on this one. That's that fuzzy guitar that you hear. I mean, the clavinet is pretty easy to figure out. The clavinet Stevie. And then those those guitar riffs on the hook, that's all right. That is all right. So Stevie knew how to work with people and knew who to work with. So you get that sort of, inclusiveness and collaborative spirit on a lot of these records, especially when you hear a young Ray Parker Jr. on Maybe Your Baby. And then, of course, there's Superstition, one of the greatest songs to ever exist. I tell you guys this all the time. If you have not found the live performance of Superstition on Sesame Street, of all places, from 1973, go watch that on YouTube, please. I mean, if you haven't already, what you waiting on? But I highly suggest you go check that out. But yes, and then I believe when I fall in love, it'll be forever. I mean, this is Stevie coming back to the hopeful side of romance. I mean, he's already talked about, losing his woman on Maybe Your Baby. He's talking about blaming on the sun. My God, blaming on the sun, one of the greatest breakup songs ever. And then, when I'm looking for another pure love, and then he closes out the album, I believe when I fall in love with you, it'll be forever. Like, even through all, I mean, because he was only 22 at the time. So you figure, all right, he's been through the depressive stages of a breakup. Now he's like, okay, all right, now let me see if I can get back on this horse. Let me see if I can get back in the saddle, get back in this game called love. And I believe when I fall in love with you, it's going to be forever. So that hope, carries a lot of people through for people who want to be in relationships, who want to be in love, who want to have companionship. So Stevie, once again, at his best on Talking Book. And it was the one that really just broke him nationwide, that everybody just said, oh my God, this Stevie Wonder guy is good. I mean, it didn't hurt that he toured with the Rolling Stones and stole the damn show. But, Talking Book, people were like, oh wow, what's a white people were like, dude, what's a Stevie Wonder? Let's go check him out. And there you have it. Number 2, 1973's Inner Visions. I love Inner Visions, bro, with everything in me. It is, I keep coming. I argue with myself about what's my favorite Stevie Wonder classic period album. Man, Inner Visions is always in the top 2 of that conversation every single time. The key tracks for me are Visions, Living for the City, Golden Lady, and my favorite song of all time, Higher Ground. I say this all the time, not to be morbid, but at my I want Higher Ground played at my funeral. I do, because I feel like that summarizes my life. Like I've, so darn glad he let me try it again, because the last time on earth I lived the whole world of sin. Not a whole lot of sin, but just me, being in my head about life and different things. And I keep getting chances every day to get up and start life over and try to do something different every day. So I'm going to keep on trying until I reach my highest ground. I think that's something we all shoot for. So Higher Ground is my favorite song of all time. I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but yeah, if you ask, Chris, what's your favorite song of all time? Higher Ground. Without question. Without question. Hearing that live in concert for the first time, mind you, when I got to see Stevie a couple years ago, everything I'd hoped for and more. But yeah, Visions, that song is, it's the closest to the title track that you're going to get, to a title track you're going to get. And it's him talking about, what I'd like to know is, could a place like this exist so beautiful, or is this just a vision in my mind? Like, the dude is always dreaming. Like, even for a dude who didn't have sight, he still had incredible vision, which is why the album is called Inner Visions and the song was called Visions. Living for the City, of course, is more of Stevie explaining to people the conditions of the world that Black people mostly suffer from, and that white people, if you're not careful, your poor brethren will suffer from this as well. And Golden Lady, one of the most romantic songs ever written about somebody. Like, if a man dedicates Golden Lady to you, you got him wrapped around your finger easily. Because listen to Stevie on that song, man. A touch of rain, sunshine makes the flower grow. Like, that man was head over heels for somebody when he wrote that damn song. And that's the best way to say, and golden lady, I like to go there. Like, yeah, if a man sings this song around you or about you, ladies, wrapped around the finger, pretty much. And it's pretty damn obvious what number 1 was going to be on this countdown. The song's In the Key of Life, which turns 50 later on this year. Oh, I got something planned for that. So y'all might want to stay tuned to this channel. If you're new and if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you better, because I got something planned for the 50th anniversary of the songs In the Key of Life. Trust and believe, you'll want to stick around for this one. That being said, the key tracks for me, Sir Duke, I Wish, As, and Another Star, which closes out the official 4 sides, but there's a little bit of a bonus EP. But if you stop before the bonus EP, Another Star closes out the album. And that's another one. Hearing Another Star, that's something that Stevie sort of went with towards the end of his set. Because let me tell you about Stevie in concert real quick before I keep on talking about songs in the key of life. He performed for a good 2 hours. For one, the show started on time, which you can't beat that. It started a little before 8 o'clock. He performed, his backing and touring vocalist Shalay McDonald, who is really good by the way, performed a song or two for her of her own. And Stevie came back out in about 10, 15. He had performed at least more than anything in the catalog that you imagine. He also did some stylistic stuff. I mean, because this show was in Philly, and Stevie has great reverence for Philly. So to hear him doing, I can't remember. Shucks, which one was it? I think it was, You're Everything, or it might even been People Make the World Go Round. I know he did some stylistic songs mixed in with stuff from his catalog. But hearing another star live in 2024, now another star in 1976 was already, little shuffle, little Victor Cruz salsa dance and all of that stuff. But hearing it live in 2024 and hearing just about 15, 16, 17,000 people in Wells Fargo. Well, damn, it's the Xfinity Center now. But here in Wells Fargo, hearing everybody go, la da 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 da. Like, it's like, it was a transcendent experience, man. But yeah, Sir Duke, of course, his dedication to Duke Ellington, who had passed a couple years prior. I wish him going back in the day about his life, as growing up as a kid. And probably the greatest love song ever written. I would say it's up there. And then, of course, I mentioned Another Star. But yeah, Songs in the Key of Life was the album that everybody, regardless of your genre, whether you were rock, prog rock, pop, jazz fusion, funk, disco, gospel even, like whatever genre of music you performed, Songs in the Key of Life changed your artistic chemistry for the better. And anybody who was doing music in 1976 will tell you that without pause. Songs in the Key of Life is probably it is the greatest album of all time. It is the greatest album of all time. It stands far and above everything else you can throw out there. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, love it fine. Anything Freddie Mercury and Queen put out, cool with me. They ain't Songs in the Key of Life, dog. They're not. Ain't too many things in the same realm as Songs in the Key of Life. Stevie Wonder just decided, okay, I am going to put out a double album that is going to make everybody follow me for the next 50 freaking years. And that is exactly what has happened. And that's why it is number one in this countdown. Because when you talk about the classic period, you had to have an end. And what better way to go out than with the greatest album ever recorded, Songs in the Key of Life. That's Stevie for you. But yes, again, these are my top 5. This is the order I have them in. What's your order? What songs do you like from each of these albums? Would love to know what you think. And that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. And man, what a week it has been. We covered Stevie from beginning to now. And just so glad to still have him. We lost Mike young. We lost Prince young. We lost a lot of other great musicians in the Black community recently. And Stevie is the one who's performing at all these people's services, man. I couldn't imagine bearing that weight, being 76 years old, dealing with mortality yourself and being the one people call on when someone else dies. That is a heavy weight to carry. And especially for a dude who has been through so much in his life as is, but he still is present. He still is a joy. He still has something to say. Someone on my channel commented saying, I think Stevie has one more classic album in him. I think he does too. I hope he gives it to us. If he just wants to tour off the old stuff, look at all the old stuff. Ain't nobody going to complain. If Stevie comes back out on tour again, I will pay to go see him again. But if he wants to put out something new, you damn right I'm going to check it out. And I think a lot of us are as well. So we're just so happy to still have him. Happy birthday, Stevie Wonder, 76 years young. Hopefully there's more to the story. And we will talk about Stevie in high reverence on this channel as long as this channel exists. And I know people agree with me. So there you go. So yes, that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. Really appreciate y'all as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos because as you know by now, your boy talks back in the comments. And I'm going to take a break from talking this weekend, boy, because my voice is cracked. But Monday, we'll have a new episode and hopefully we'll have a special guest. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. We're working on it. And if you see it, you know what I'm talking about. Not going to give it away. But yes, Monday, we may have a special guest. So y'all stay tuned. So thank you guys for riding with us on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, y'all enjoy your weekend. May you find the groove, or may the groove find you.